I was trying to make it
Heads
simple.
up.
I did everyone's the same way.
Yeah. Should I give them a heads up?
You can.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get going because I know we are at 1 hour today. We've got our ECE-COP having a meeting coming up, and so we want to make sure that we get Rachel off of here a few minutes before 1, and then everybody else off at 1 solid or a minute or two before. But welcome, welcome! Happy New Year, TPP! How's everybody doing today? Whoop, whoop! I'm feeling good. I got to tell you, I'm feeling good today. For a couple different reasons. But one thing I want to share with everybody before we kick off, I had the opportunity to meet with Department of Education today. The ECE-COP is going to talk about a joint event that happened last Thursday that was spectacular, but it has led to some other kind of opportunities. When I met with CDE this morning, I thought that we might be talking about an opportunity in early childhood education, but it turns out that they were talking about an opportunity in equity, and they were specifically wanting to talk not to our full joint collaborative, but to specifically TPP, which, I mean, I'm always thrilled whenever our colleagues at CDE are, wanting to collaborate and whatnot in any capacity. So I wanted to share with you that the STIRS program, which everybody knows, STIRS is our retirement for our education, our future teachers, many of our future teachers, not all, but many. The STIRS group for California reached out to Department of Education, and they would actually like to start rolling out some financial literacy workshops for future teachers and for current teachers on how to maximize your pension within STIRS. And they'd like to roll this out because they believe that discussing pension and financial, like the financial future as an educator, can be utilized as a recruitment strategy in teacher preparation. I also mentioned that not just recruitment, but also for retention in order to keep people in. A lot of people don't understand the power of pension. One of the things I was sharing with my contact at Department of Ed was my brother-in-law retired 1.5 years ago after being a principal for quite some time, and his pension is almost identical to his monthly income when he was an educator. And I'm thrilled that he had the chance to retire because he's in his late 60s. He had just battled cancer, and now he's like enjoying the next part of life after working so hard as an educator for 30 years. And so when STIRS brought this to Department of Ed, they said, where could we get this out like to the most future teachers in California? And she reached out and said, we'd like to talk to CCC-TPP and see what we can do together. So anyways, there's some synergy there. I was talking to her. I shared with then about how we're going to do a statewide conference in August and how maybe there could be some partnership there, or we could roll some stuff out there. I also shared that the LA region's going to have a statewide conference in spring, a student-focused conference, and that might be an avenue as well. And so, so there's some potential there. Bobby even had a great suggestion for possibly even including a section on the TPP website that talks about, how do you be financially savvy as a future teacher? And we could even include different loan redemption programs, or something Bobby mentioned was, first-time homeowners and the incentives that are there. I will tell you, I am a homeowner. I don't think I would have been able to buy my first home if I didn't have a teacher incentive grant. I'm going to be totally honest with you. We moved down here from Northern California. We had one job. We did not have two when we did the move, and we had $10,000 saved as a down payment. And fortunately, my program said, as a teacher, we only need $500 from you. And so that was our down payment. And I was so grateful because my husband didn't start working for like 5 months when we did the move. So that extra $9,000 went to our household mortgage. And so anyways, I just want to throw this out here and get everybody's thoughts on this. Just talking briefly with Bobby and some other members of TPP, it sounds like a good thing for us. But I just want to throw it out to the group and get your thoughts on this. Do you think a possible partnership or collaboration with STIRS would be beneficial? This would be something where they would share information with us, and it would be at your discretion if you want to be sharing it on your campus and whatnot, but also some potential possibly for partnering at conferences and whatnot. So any thoughts on this? Any comments?
This is Deanna. I think that not only would it be better or great for our students and current teachers, but I also think that it would be a great opportunity for us to highlight the advantages and the pay within our colleges, as we tend to know that so many times education is thought of as a low paying job. And I think that this could heighten awareness of how lucrative education can be for a sustainable
Future.
wage.
Yeah, excellent, Deanna. I appreciate that so much. Any other comments about this potential partnership or working with CalSTRS? Any conflicts that people see or potential conflicts?
Renee, it's Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
I'm on my phone, so I can't see who else is. Maybe if someone else is trying to speak, but I think this is lovely. I think it might also have an unintended consequence of showing the inequities that happen in our field, particularly around early education. But I don't know that that's entirely a bad thing, but because it's there and we need to face it and we need to do something about it.
Excellent. Thank you. I want to share with everybody, we have somebody currently that is in the wait room that I believe is a Zoom bomber. The name is Just a Fax Man. And they don't look.
Sorry, that's Doug. I think.
Is that Doug?
Yeah, that's Doug.
Oh, thank you. Okay, and that's why I said something.
Yeah, thank you, because we had the same problem. For some reason, Doug's like handle name is his like Gmail address.
Oh, that is so funny, Kyoko. So I'm like,
Did no one give him that? Did no one give him that lecture about having a professional email address?
Yeah, and then yesterday we had a meeting and we didn't let him in, thinking that was a Zoom bomb.
That is so funny.
Doug,
did
you hear us talking about you? You need to change your email handle. People think you're a Zoom bomber.
That reminds me when one of my students emailed me and he's like, "Can you please send the letter of rec to Hot Sexy Guy 69?" And I was like,
"Oh my God!"
I wrote him. I'm like,
"No,
you've got to get a new email. I cannot send you a letter of recommendation to that email address."
But I can't see what it says when I'm in the lobby. I can't see what the name it is.
Oh, it was weird. It was like
it says just a fax, ma'am.
That's your name. Look at the name.
I know what that is. That's my Google Google email.
But when you're checking people in from a waiting room, it looks like a Zoom bomber because it looks like a made up name.
It is a made up name.
But I'm just saying it doesn't say Doug.
I just changed your name to Doug. I hope you don't mind that I took the liberty to do that.
No, that's awesome. I didn't even know that you could do that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, that was fun. That is Doug and not a Zoom bomber.
Just for some historical reference, it comes from the Dragnet series. You guys,
right?
The
guy Sergeant Friday, just the facts, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just want the facts.
That's beautiful. Well, any other comments about the STRS potential? I mean, I don't know how this will sit. I'm supposed to get an email today. But basically it would be a place where we could potentially collaborate. And I've got to be honest, anytime we have an opportunity to work with Department of Education and the other agencies that are, helping to support teachers and future teachers, I think it's a strategic place for us to be. But if anybody has anything that they think, any potential risk or any pushback or whatever, please know I'm always open to discussion. And if I'm wrong, I'm always willing to admit I'm wrong. So I will assume everybody's cool with it. If not, please feel free to contact me. And then we will we'll figure it out, making sure that we're approaching it from all of us as a team moving forward. So I've got
Renee, I'm sorry, just quickly, it's not about the CalSTRS, but we're currently working with the California Jumpstart to offer a financial literacy workshop to future teachers,
okay, now you're ahead of the game, Kyoko, because that's who STRS is working with.
Okay, that's great.
Jumpstart to do the workshops for them with the content of what they want.
Okay, great. Yeah, so they're willing to come and give info sessions on Zoom and things like that, just to let you know.
Excellent.
I have a comment. This is Deanna. I'm wondering about all of those teachers that we prepare in the early childhood workforce with FCC, all of those, if there is a future point would be an opportunity to see how those teachers would be able to buy into the STIRS system or something. I mean, just thinking far future, but most teachers, at least in early childhood, are not in state or federally funded programs that might have that option. And so just thinking down the road about a partnership for those in community programs.
I love this idea of what you're thinking here, Deanna, and I will absolutely bring it back to Tara at CDE and say, here's one thing that we're thinking of. And just as we are looking at this potential collaboration, please know this is something we have in our mind. So if there is any potential moving forward where there could be an opportunity, especially as we're looking at, the systems are, we have a lot of our early care providers that are now moving into the TK through 12 based on how the systems are kind of like shifting a bit. And so we want to make sure we can capture everybody to have that safe retirement. So many of our early care workers are often left out of benefits and those kind of opportunities for a career versus a job. Nobody wants to have an early care job. We want an early care career.
Renee,
Yes.
I just wanted to butt in, Skeet. We also have to take into account you have private industry and you have state funded programs. So state funded teachers, preschool teachers, 3 and 4-year-old pre-K classes are in one basket. And then you have your family childcare and your private industry in another basket. And so how do we make it equitable for, again, that pathway of ECE? How do we build up teachers on, both lines on that?
I'm going to throw something crazy out right now. How insane would it be if one of our biggest contributions could be finding a way to work with STIRS to get early care included, whether it's a buy-in or whatever. So I love this discussion. This is an advocacy opportunity in addition to a partnership opportunity. So great. Any other feedback on it, please let me know. You can send it to me privately in chat. You can text me, email me, whatever works best for you.
Kind of cool that ECE is now essential.
Yes, it's about time. Okay, I'm going to keep going with our agenda because I know we're tight on time today. So the next thing I want to make sure everybody has on their radar is this email from Cynthia about the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. Specifically, there are 2 different groups that they are asking for our community college representation to join. They are opening the door, asking for us to sit on these. So, but I don't know, I don't have the specifics about all the different time commitments on them, but I do just want to make sure that everybody has them on their radar. So, okay, let's see where they are here. Sorry, I'm trying to find where it says in here that you actually participate in the 2 things. I apologize. Maybe I just
one of them is the ECE pilot.
Maybe I just cut it up at the top here. Okay, here it is. So the ECE Quality Peer Review Design Team, first meeting February 23rd, and then the ECE-TPA Design Team, first meeting on the 16th to the 17th of March. So I'm not sure, and that's a 1.5-day meeting. I don't know what the commitment is to be involved in these, but I do know that you need to reach out to Phyllis Jacobson, Phyllis, her email is at the bottom of the message here. So right here, Phyllis, oh, is her email not on there? Okay, I have Phyllis's email. I apologize. I assumed it was on her signature there, but it's not. But with, oh, I'm sorry, here it's at the top. But so you can contact her directly, but I want to make sure that we have people that are willing and interested to do it. I'm just going to throw it out there. If people are not, or you know what, let me throw it out a different way. If people are planning to apply, if you could let me know, that would be great. I just want to make sure that we have somebody from TPP represented on both of these different groups. And I've got to be honest with you. I'm personally very interested in being on the ECE-TPA design team. And I've spoken with some people at CTC who thought I would be an asset on that team as well. But the only thing is I am presenting 2 sessions at CCC-AOE on the 16th and the 17th. And so I was thinking about reaching out to say I could be available for most of the day, but not when I'm doing the breakout sessions. But I don't know if I can't be there for the full 1.5-day training. I will be absent for about 4 hours of the 1.5-day training. So I want to throw it out there to see if anybody else is interested, or if anybody is also actually already RSVP'd for either of these 2. Cynthia sent this email earlier this week. So I want to open it up quickly. Is there anybody who's applied or would be interested in applying for these? No pressure at all.
Can you have a proxy sit in for the hours that you can't be there? I'll happily do like a tag team for you. And
Well, Gina, let me ask on that one, because if they'd be fine with that, I would love to be involved, and we'd be good together on it. You know, you and I.
yeah,
Okay, cool. I'll ask about that one. But if there's anybody else who's interested in the TPA also, I don't want to like snag it. So if somebody else wants to be on it, just let me know and I'll step back. But then the other one here for the ECE program quality peer review design team, the meeting's coming up February 23rd. I also want to see if anybody's interested in that. I'm going to sit uncomfortably in silence for a minute to see if anyone else talks.
Renee, can
No
you just
pressure, though.
explain a little bit what that includes?
yeah.
What
Give
that-
us a little snap.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't even know. All I know is that they have committees and they're doing these 2 projects and they're asking for community college teacher preparation representation on the design teams. That's literally, I only know the email that we got. Except that I talked to CTC months ago, and they told me they wanted me on the design team a long time ago.
I think the 2 teams, one is to create like the way they're going to assess the quality of our programs in preparing they're bringing in the TPEs. And so the one team is to design the assessments that the pilots are going to use to determine whether or not we're training our teachers to the new TPEs. And the other one is a little bit less clear. But the meetings have been, if anybody's attended those pilot meetings, they've been a little bit interesting. And yeah, we definitely need a voice, because I don't know that they necessarily realize, and to be completely frank, they think that somehow this is doing a service to us and involving us in these pilots, because they're like, and we're not charging you, but they're also not compensating any of the, so I think it is really, really important that we have a voice in this, because it's an opportunity. But I think you might need to be prepared to navigate a little bit of confusion and frustration. But the more voices we have, the less likely that is to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Have they targeted a certain number of people that they want on these groups, or is it really just anyone who volunteers?
We were basically like, Phyllis reached out to Cynthia, who used to be our program monitor, and then Cynthia reached out to us. They're looking for somebody who represents community college teacher preparation. So I don't know the rest of the configuration of their groups. I have done other work groups though, and it's always really interesting and balanced. And I don't want to like push this on anybody at all, but I can tell you that all of the time that I have spent volunteering for CTC in different capacities has been totally beneficial to me, both just professionally, but also I just personally found benefit being involved in, I don't know, the connectivity and the relationships that come out of being involved in these work groups often significantly outweigh the amount of work and effort that you need to put into it. Okay, great. Okay, and I also have had some people private message me in chat, so I think we are good. I will follow up with those people. If anyone else is interested in being involved though, we are an inclusive team, and I want to make sure, like, I don't ever want anybody to think like I'm stepping forward. I'm stepping forward if nobody's stepping forward, okay? And that I'm like the TPP backup, okay? But if there's anybody on the team who has capacity and interest on it and wants to be the lead in these 2 groups or in one of the 2 groups, please let me know. I will step back because I'm here to support our team and do what is best. So great, thank you so much. I will follow up with Cynthia and let her know that we will be in touch with Phyllis and we will be serving on these groups.
Quick question for you, Renee. Sorry to interrupt. This is Steve.
Oh, yes, of course, Steve.
So are they looking for practitioners from the California Community College to lend their discipline expertise to these groups, or are they looking for a representation from the California community colleges? Because I think those are 2 different types of
I totally agree with you,
representatives. So
yeah,
if they're looking for discipline expertise, I mean, yeah, we can throw it out there. If we're talking about a representation from, then there needs to be a line and a connection dotted back to our chancellor's office, and there needs to be some accountability and collaborative and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just—
Steve, that would be optimal. And honestly, it's the second, where it really should be that we have somebody at the chancellor's office who is the representative for this, and we don't. And so that's why I'm coming to the group to say we still want to have our voice, but we don't, it really should be, like if we had a TAP, or if we had, if we had somebody who was officially not in charge, but officially.
Well, and I think that's a big reason why Cynthia sent it out to all of us, because she used to be our program monitor, and since they don't have a teacher preparation program monitor at the chancellor's office anymore, she passes things to us to get the word out and to get people involved in these committees and things.
So there's another advocacy piece for ourselves to say, if you're going to be reaching chancellor's office to the field for a representation for our field, then we need to have officially capacity to be able to report. So, because basically you're just, again, it's an unofficial type of relationship. So we need to, if they're going to advocate and want us to participate, then we need to have to create the type of official positioning so that we can officially represent. So just saying that out loud as well.
Steve, I agree with you 100%. I understand that it's like wonky.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but
right.
I also don't want to not have any of us there.
Gotcha.
So it's like this tricky thing. So ideally it would be, we have one of us who's in a formal position with the chancellor's office and they're representing our team. Unfortunately, since we don't have shared funding right now, that's not the case. And so ideally to me, it would be then one of our campus teacher prep leads who then is representing, our overall group, and they're literally in the job right now. But then if people are not available or are not showing the interest, then of course I will step in as a past lead who is, still staying connected as much as possible. Okay.
Jennifer just put in the chat the link to the webinar 6 slides and recording.
And a big ask at the moment, as we're digesting the new semester. But again, maybe if we had, representatives from 2 of the regions that are here today that can maybe share the responsibility. I don't know if they would allow that, or they're just looking for one key person, but that might be something it wouldn't be so burdensome to somebody to feel like they have the big report out and are representing, whatever. But I agree that we need to have a visual,
mm-hmm.
And keep TPP out there in all different circuits. So happy to help at the moment, but again, try not to overload with, so many little projects. So if anyone's interested in sharing, if they'll let us.
I did want to mention that I did have I finally had another faculty besides Yadira and Janet step forward and want to be part. And so I filled out that form that they have yesterday to be a part of the pilot. It's one of the links that Cynthia sent. Yes. So El Camino will be part of that.
Oh, great.
Presumably.
Bobby, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I believe the pilot deadline is the 1st of February. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's coming up. I believe so. It's
yes, absolutely. Applications right February 1st. So anybody, you're not signed up.
Jennifer Paris, Cindy Stevens signed up for COC. Is that correct?
Yeah. I don't have a confirmation on that. I know that she was interested in doing so. So I believe, but I don't know for certain.
Okay, awesome. Which, Jen, I didn't know that Cindy's going to be a grandma. That was really great news to hear that Cindy Stevens' daughter is pregnant. Oh, that's weird. Oh, sorry, I just got a weird notice from Zoom saying they did something. So
did we. We got it too. Okay, but yeah, I mean, so CAP, for context, a little bit context that may or may not be news to people. So CAP updated their outlines to reflect the TPEs. And so part of the work for the pilots, there's 3 qualifications. You either have to be in the process of having your curriculum updated to the updated CAP ones, be accredited by any EYC, and there was a 3rd option. And so some of the work is going for the pilots is going to be aligning their curriculum, but then you also have to implement these assessments that one of these teams is going to be developing. And then you have to gather all of that data. And so these teams, I think, are going to be really important to making the pilots be successful. So, but yeah, and I'm trying to find more information, kind of going through some of the stuff that they found to maybe highlight what might be helpful for people wanting to make a decision about whether or not they want to commit to to this because I think it's important, but yeah.
It's going to be important, but it's going to be time consuming.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I was under the impression of.
can I comment there too? We did sign up at Moore Park to be a part of that TPE pilot, but I do feel our groups need representation because I don't think there's an understanding of how under-resourced our programs are, and the thought that we're going to be rolling out all these things on behalf of the commission, or it just to me it was a kind of shocking, to be honest.
It's a disconnect. We have a disconnect between systems and between our agencies.
And apparently, based on what people are saying at the meeting, the CSUs have like a compensated position that helps do some of this type of work. And so I think Cindy was right that there's a disconnect, that realizing that this is going to be the back on the backs of faculty to do all of this, and that's a really huge ask. And it's not a favor. I mean, we want to be included, but it's a lot of work that's not compensated in addition to everything else we do. So yeah, there's a lot of conflicting emotions about it, I think. That being said, I think we're also going to put into our request for our CE funding, whether it's Strong Workforce or Perkins. I'm new to all of that. Y'all probably know that better than I do, but some sort of compensation for the data gathering part, because we can't put the curriculum updating because that's contractual stuff, but trying to kind of build something in there to compensate. So if you're submitting your budgets at this point, like I am, that might be something to think about if you're going to be doing a pilot.
Great.
If it would help anyone, I made a template of the online form that you applied to be the pilot. I can send it to you guys. I'll put the link in the Google chat if you guys want it. So you can see, because it's one of those forms where you fill out a page and have to go to the next page to see what other questions, so I can send you a template for all the questions they're going to ask, if that would help.
Yeah, that'd be great, Bobby, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll send it in just a second.
Excellent. Well, and like Jennifer was saying, there's a lot of discussion about this pilot. And so we definitely want to be involved. So that way, once things actually sit and are required, then we will have been part of the process and we'll be hopefully comfortable with things moving forward. So thank you, everybody who's taking a part in that. I do know that that's really taxing, and I appreciate your role involved in it. Jennifer and anybody who's involved in that pilot, we also want to be able to share the challenges in addition to the successes as we're working with CTC. And if anybody doesn't feel comfortable, I could always talk to people just kind of offline a little bit if you would like to at any point about the challenges or successes of the program. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead to Rachel. Rachel, I'm hoping you can stay with us for maybe about 5 minutes before you log off to just talk with a bit about the ECE-COP. You've had some wonderful success lately. So would you share with all of us? And Rachel's here. We do have other members from the COP in the leadership team that are here as well. I appreciate everybody who's here, but I was hoping that maybe Rachel could start us off.
Yeah, so hello everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. We last week hosted a really cool joint collaborative meeting with Peach, Tri-CEC OER, and then CCC-TPP. And we were looking at the master plan for early care and education. And so we had an event that had about 150 people show up, where we went through, very briefly talked about the different components of the master plan. And then we broke people up into small groups to discuss from a higher ed faculty position, what do we need to be thinking about with the master plan? What are some things that are going to drive the work that we might have to do around it? What do we need more support of? And so we had a really nice breakout session. We had the meeting scheduled till about 5:30 and ended up 6:30, sorry. Ended up staying on until about 7 o'clock because people were still wanting to talk about this and wanting to talk about our field. And so we have taken the data from this workshop through the chat boards. There was a Google form that people were filling out with their ideas and their thoughts. And so we've taken that information and we're in the process of going through and categorizing it, looking at it and figuring out what the next step is with all this information. So that was an amazing night. Since then, Renee has received contact for a future meeting to discuss. Renee, to be honest, right now off the top of my head, I'm not remembering what we're discussing on Tuesday.
They reached out to, I had Department of Ed reached out to me to introduce me to a group called Ed Trust West. So not West Ed, Ed Trust West. And I've had the chance to talk with one person from this group. We're meeting next Tuesday, and it looks like they're really talking about diversification of teacher preparation and early care. And they're looking for ways to connect with the community college system. So through this joint collaboration with Peach, Tri-C, ECE, and OER, zero textbook costs. I mean, I'm hoping that we meet on, I'm meeting with them, Rachel and I are meeting with them on Tuesday. We're hoping there's going to be awesome synergy. And then we're going to come together with like the larger group. And so I'm really excited about working with these other agencies that focus on teacher preparation and early care, specifically our other community college groups that are doing this. And I feel like coming together is a powerful thing. And I think it's exciting that we're going to be meeting with this group next week to see about if they can, work with us with the efforts that they're already working on related to early childhood and diversifying the field. So at our next meeting in February, we'll probably do an update about how the meeting went. And hopefully at that point we will have had the Peach, Tri-C, ECE, TPP collaboration meet with this Ed West Trust beforehand. But something good already that's come out of that that webinar. That webinar was very well received, just so everybody knows. I've gotten some really good feedback about that. And Rachel and the team did a stellar job facilitating, and our partners from Peach and Tri-C, ECE, and Jen, and I mean, everybody did a great job. I think we were all very pleased with the results of the beginning, the first time the groups were coming together to collaborate.
And we're also looking at what is this going to look like moving forward. So if you have any ideas about the master plan, higher education's role in it, don't hesitate to reach out and share that with us, because we're looking at what people have already said and we're trying to figure out what would be the next step. We had talked about possibly having a second conversation at least. So that's going to be driven based off of the information that we have from the meeting that we had from the first night. And then at 1 o'clock, which is why I'm going to be jumping off in a few minutes, we have our upcoming ECE COP coffee chat. And one of our partners within the coffee chat, she has a friend who is going to be talking to faculty about learning stories. And so there's going to be a little overview and talking about how people are using it in classrooms and thinking about how to use it as faculty members. And then coming up in March, we have our next coffee chat planned. And that one is going to be focusing on Zoom tips and tricks. All of these coffee chats are basically our members coming forward and say, hey, I have the skill. Can I share it with others? And so we're not having to reach out to anybody to get speakers. They're reaching out to us and saying, we want to talk to faculty about this. So if you have something that you want to talk to faculty about, or you want to contribute, please don't hesitate to reach out, because we are always looking for people to share their skills and abilities with us. And we've had a Flipgrid training. We've had somebody go through Google Drive with us. So don't hesitate to reach out, because anything you can contribute is valuable.
I'm going to throw something out there, and I feel kind of bad because she's not on the call right now. It's an opening day kind of event for her, but we should really consider having Leah Martinez do something on marketing and or Canva and or Flipbooks or something like that, because what she's been able to produce has been really cool with some of like the graphic designs and some of the stuff that our own Leah does. And so I'm not sure if that could sit in the ECE COP or the EDU COP, but that might be a training we might want to consider in the future. Because I don't know about you guys, but Leah does stuff and I'm like, how did she do that? It's so cool. So I have a feeling there's probably others that are thinking the same thing. Okay, great.
We'll add that to the list.
Rachel, would you mind mentioning the joint calendar and what has been transpiring there, please?
So we have a joint calendar with TPP, Peach, CCC, Tri-C, ECE, OER. We have a joint calendar and we are starting to track all of the events on it. I have to look though, the calendar on the ECE Faculty Collective, and Renee, just so you know, the website is no longer .weebly.com, it's just .com. The calendar, I don't think that one is posted to the ECE faculty website, but we'll look at switching it over so you can see the joint calendar on there. But right now we are working with them to have all of our events across all the groups be on the same page or on the same calendar so we can see all the different things that are coming up. So is that anything else, Renee, you can think
No,
of?
that's perfect. That's perfect, Rachel. And we also we've been tracking ACTEP, and on this calendar, we're starting to track all these different groups that we want to make sure that we're working with and not conflicting. And so, like, we don't want ACTEP and TPP to have an event on the same day. That doesn't make sense. You know, we don't want Peach and the ECE Community of Practice to have an event on the same day. It doesn't make sense. So or same time. And so we're trying to be trying to work on that as much as possible. Bobby has also done a stellar job as these dates are coming onto this joint calendar. She's been putting them on our teacher prep calendar on the teacher prep website, so you can access them there. Great. Thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead to the EDU Community of Practice. Megan, Shannon, I'm not sure which of you would like to speak. And I don't know if Shannon's going to be able to be on the whole time also.
Hi, I'm here. Yes.
Oh, awesome.
So for now, we have our save the dates for the semester, and I went ahead and sent out those invites directly through Outlook this time. So I hope that was not too frustrating for all of you. I've got requests that people wanted that to be directly embedded into their emails, so I'm hoping that that worked out better for some of you. I think overall, most of the things that we're working on this year are updating MOUs and looking at what's being developed within different communities. I went ahead and already updated my MOU, sent it for approval through my district so that I could share that at one of our next meetings. And I've been able to share some of the MOUs that we've been developing. Working on updating some of our fieldwork video assignments to include questions. So for those of us that are using those videos and developing, we can start sharing those questions with each other so we can get those into that course and updated on the Commons. And then just continuing to decide best practices for some next steps and just stay in touch with what's going on. I don't know about most of your community colleges. We just had another meeting and my president's not sure we'll be opening in the fall at this point, which I think is bizarre, but that's not something that's happening. So I don't know if that's happening other places or not. So just as long as we can all continue to communicate and work together and just support the need at hand, that's what we want to do throughout this semester and continue to develop new strategies, new ideas. And I'll be working hopefully soon with a couple of my other community college partners here in the Central Valley. I see Megan Bennett is on the call. I'm not sure if Cheryl's here. And the three of us are hoping to start meeting this semester and develop an entire Intro to Ed course with all of the ancillary materials, along with the OER components that we've been using for a while now. So we're excited for that. So that'll be something else we'll be able to add to the Commons soon.
Outstanding work, Shannon. Thank you so much. You guys have been such a resource to so many of our EDU faculty. And if everybody on the line can please make sure they share the collaboratives and the collectives with their faculty, especially any new faculty, we'd appreciate it. If you have any names of new faculty or emails for new faculty, you can also shoot them over to me and we can send personalized invitations to people to welcome them or whatnot. Wonderful. Thank you so much. The group, the communities of practice are making a significant impact. We really thought it was going to be a short term and it's really gone a lot longer. And I'm so grateful for all the leadership. Thank you so much. You are impacting the field. Bobby, what updates do you have for us about the website?
I don't know. I've just, I was just updating it yesterday with I added the agenda for this meeting, little things like that,
Awesome.
I updated the there's a COP meeting today as well, so I updated some stuff on that. yeah, if you guys have anything you need updated, I'm gonna make a new page, I guess. Like I said, when we flesh out a little more detail about the STIRS thing, and we could just make a page all about, you know, not well, like when Renee and I were talking about, it's like not to negate the importance of being able to work with students and being able to work with children. We need to know the financial benefits. People need to know the financial benefits of being a teacher, you
Well,
know.
you need to know you can pay your bills.
Right.
It's
I
a
mean, because I think
perception.
that's something that keeps a lot of people from pursuing careers in education, because they hear too many times that, oh, you don't get any pay, you know, I can't live on that or whatever. And you know, it doesn't have to be that way. So anyway, so I'll make a page, you know, and we can design it however we want, of course. But yeah, I don't think there's any major updates. You guys, if you want to make any updates, or if you have changes to your um representation on the map, I was thinking, I have to check it now. I was thinking specifically of Mount Sac. I can't remember who the contact is for Mount Sac right now, but I know you've had a couple of people, at least a couple of people, retire lately, that were my contacts on there.
What is
um,
the contact that you want, Bobby?
well, it's whoever you want people to contact. We have the locator map, and I'll put it in the chat right now. And you can find your college on
Bobby,
there.
do you want me to
And
stop share?
oh, I don't care. I put the map in the chat.
Okay.
So yeah, you can find your college, and I can put more than one person as a contact, but this is meant to be um, a resource for people in general, even that are looking for a contact at your college for teacher preparation. So if you know,
Any level of teacher preparation, or preschool, or the whole spectrum?
the whole spectrum.
Basically you go to the locator map and it's like, okay, I'm interested in College of the Canyons. So they go to that college and then it goes, Gina Peterson, Jennifer Paris, here's their contact information. And so then it basically connects them to a person at the campus who's related to teacher prep. And it might be like the director, it might be a department chair, depending on the campus and the capacity and whoever is like the contact person. So it does vary, Doug, but it gives them to somebody who's within the TPP organization, you know, like within the
Okay,
group.
I'll clarify it.
So I can put program names. A lot of this I've pulled from individual colleges' websites. So I put the program name in
Here,
there,
Bobby, I'm going to
program
stop share so you
leads.
can show them.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing, but you said it's the whole spectrum, but I would be the contact person for anything TK through 12.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might be stepping on some toes if I were to say that I should be the contact for the whole thing, because I think for the preschool teacher training, it should be one of the department chairs. We have two co-chairs, Tony Henry and Cecilia Thay. So let me double check with Tony and Cecilia and see how they want to handle it, and then I'll get the information to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to share? Let's see.
If you want to, yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be good for the visual for anybody who hasn't seen it.
It says you've disabled participant screen sharing.
What? Oh goodness. Okay, hold on a second.
So I'd love to share, but I can't.
Okay, so now I'm making you host. So then you're changing to host. It's not letting me co-host you. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
it just told me I'm the host now.
So now can you share okay?
Yeah, I should be
Okay.
able to. Yeah, so so here's the locator map. I was gonna show you an example. I clicked on San Bernardino, and I can list multiple people. See, I have two people there, and they're both of their email addresses and the link to their website, to their program's webpage. Some of these just have, like, I didn't have a contact for Chafee, so I just put what I could find on their website, which was just their program, their child development and education program. Victor Valley is, Sandy Visser. You can click on any of these and see who here. This should be Rio Hondo. See, it says Leah Martinez, has her email address, the URL for her program. And then I also put the link. If I knew what a college's regional consortium was, I put it there under regional consortium and the link to that consortium website. Yeah, so Doug, it could be you and somebody else. It doesn't have to just be one person. I can
Okay.
list multiple people.
That sounds like a good plan, but let me just ask first, so I don't step on anyone's toes, and then we'll be good.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I'll unshare. Unless there's something else you guys want to see on the website.
Bobby, what if I was just looking at the Questa one, and what's under there for contact is not something I recognize at all. Is that supposed to be an institutional contact, or should it just be like the website? Like we have a page on our campus website.
Well, just send me what you want it to say.
Okay, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I'm the one who entered this. It's a Google map.
Cool. Oh,
I have a spreadsheet that I keep all the information in, and I can just delete whatever I have there and add what you want it to say. Because like I said, some of these
yeah, this has caused confusion, and now and this, I think this is showing up in some other places too. So I'll send you updated info.
Okay, some of it people have sent me. Some of it, if I didn't have information for a college, we did just online research and went to the different colleges' web pages. And some colleges' web pages, it's really difficult to navigate, and it's really hard to find. So you just do the best you can. So I don't remember where Questas came from, or someone sent it to me, or
it's got to be
research.
Yeah, it was probably really old. It's way before I came, and that explains something, because someone else brought up, why are you connected to Cal State Teach? And I'm all, well, it's a great program, but we don't have anything to do with it. And so this is, it's out there floating around somewhere, and probably in some of the older TPP stuff. So
okay, so just email me what you want these fields to say.
Cool.
Yeah, because you just, like I said, it can have a regional consortium, it can have a contact, email, the lead name, the program name, there's different fields. Yeah.
And this is part of the Brady Bunch vision, is that at some point it would like pop up, and then it would also have your picture. We want to have bios. We want to have like contact, like not just the contact, but for somebody to go, oh yeah, I know Rosemary. You know what I mean? And then feel like more comfortable to reach out to you. So that's kind of a dream that I have, is that we have this Brady Bunch grid of all of us, and you can click on our picture and find, like where that person is and what their contact info is. So Bobby, thank you so much for your leadership on this. Bobby has done such a wonderful job with our website over the years. And it's like, she's like the backbone of the website, and it's greatly appreciated. Would you mind making me host so I can reshare, or do you want to share the agenda? Either way is fine.
It's weird that it's not letting you co-host.
I'm having some weird stuff with my Zoom actually the past couple days, so I don't know if I need to update. Okay, as we are getting close to time, we are 10 minutes before we will be wrapping, or hopefully a little bit less. I did want to call everybody's attention to a few things. First off, I want to mention in the chat, Steve had put up about the CCTE conference coming up. And some other information. Let's see, the CCTE SPAN conference. He posted this at 12:39 with the link in the chat. It's on March 4th and 5th of this year. The ACTEP general meeting is also coming up March 2nd from 4 to 5:30, and that's open to everybody as well. So please make sure you check that out from the chat. We also wanted to share that TPP traditionally will present at a conference called CCC-AOE, the California Community College Association of Occupation Education. We apply for this conference every fall and every spring. Our team usually presents 1 or 2 presentations. I think it was last fall was the first time we did 3. And this time we have 4. So that's exciting. I'm actually doing a 5th with joint special populations as well. So I'm coordinating 5 presentations for that conference. So that should be a lot of busy fun. So I've put the information here. These are tentative dates and times because I need to give them to the conference today. But if anybody's attending or is the interesting thing about this conference is you can attend in like individual sessions. They have some different types of packages. We just want to share with you that Kim Barker will be presenting with me about her new project that she's doing, the Antelope Valley Teacher Accelerated Preparation Program. We've got the Los Angeles region, Doug, Marini, Leah, and Elvia, and myself presenting on the LEAP project, which is the Los Angeles Education Alignment Project that happened in fall of 2020. We have a third presentation. I'm really excited about this one. The COPs, both the EDU and the ECE COP, are coming together to talk about creating community during a pandemic, which I think will be very well attended. I'm excited for that one. And then we also have Kathleen White, who just retired last Monday. We had a great party last Friday. Thank you to everybody who attended. But Kathleen and Leah Martinez will be talking about student engagement and how to use conferences as a springboard to increase student engagement and retention. And so they're going to be talking about the Bay Area Conference and the Los Angeles Region conferences that happened at the tail end of last year, and sharing how it was an engagement strategy. So those are coming up. If anybody's interested and available, please join us if you can. We also have had some discussions just briefly that I just want to mention to everybody. Excuse me, the Los Angeles region is talking about possibly hosting a Teach for LA student conference in May of this year. I do want to mention that Colleen in the chat earlier put something about the conferences. I'm going to go back for just a moment. Excuse me. At 12:11, she put, it would be great to utilize what we've learned from the San Francisco and LA virtual workshops and maybe all collaborate on one virtual opportunity to invite our students to. So that's something to take into account. I know I'm working with the LA region and I don't want to speak totally on their behalf, but I have a feeling that they're a collaborative group. And if we have a way that we want to build this out to a broader audience, I have a feeling that it would be okay to go that direction. Bobby or Yadira, do you want to talk about that for a minute? Or I apologize that I didn't, that I'm bringing it up like this, but you know, since Colleen mentioned it, I think it's important to discuss it.
And Renee, I was putting it in there like with a thought about the STIRS conversation.
Oh, okay.
That's why I had put it into the chat and thinking about rather than STIRS working individually with all of the programs, there might be an opportunity for them to work with all of us collectively and then do follow-up or something. But certainly that's a much more efficient way, and it would take it off of all of our backs, if you will, of not having to connect individually. So that might be an idea to take back.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, Colleen, because when I met with CDE today, I said, hey, I don't know if STIRS would be interested in this, but we've got these different conferences coming up this year, and it might be a really good catalyst for getting the information out. So awesome, Colleen. I was thinking along the same lines. So, okay, so not so much for, okay, sorry. No, I'm good. Excellent. Okay, great. Bobby, did you want to mention anything about the conference that we're talking about, or not yet, or we can wait till we have things more solidified?
I think we should wait.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Yadira. You can say whatever you want.
I can't even, can you hear me? I can't hear. Can you guys hear me?
Totally.
Yes. Yes. We can hear you.
Okay. We can hear you okay.
Sorry. Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear you guys. What I was gonna say is, I don't know, should we wait just a little bit so that we can know what it is that we're, I sent you the information yesterday, Rainier, but I think that if we can mention it on another time where we have everything solidified.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Yadira. We can wait till February meeting and then we can get more information there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially because we don't have dates and everything. I just want to know that like we're talking about it, it's probably gonna happen. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And then also, I don't know if Kim might still be on, but she's on double meetings, so she's not going to be able to speak. But there's also some talk about doing a Bridging Education Systems conference in fall, possibly in August. We need to figure out all the specifics of it, but there's some potential that we might want to work with Antelope Valley College, maybe have them be the group that rolls it out. Anyways, we're still figuring out everything, but just want to let everybody know that these are things that we're talking about that will be soon. We will be sitting into dates and into planning. And for people who are interested, great, no pressure, but you can be involved if you're interested by all means. Updates and announcements, we will go to that in just a moment. I know we are coming short on time, but I want to make sure if anybody has things to share, they can. I do want to call your attention to something at the very bottom of the agenda that's really important. We had the chance to meet with ACTEP, and we are going to try some joint meetings. And so for the February TPP meeting, it's going to be a joint ACTEP and TPP meeting. We're talking about doing this quarterly. I'm excited to see how it rolls out. I wanted to make sure everybody saves the date for Friday, February 26th. We will be meeting on the last Friday of the month, with the exception probably of Memorial Day. We might relook at that Friday, but otherwise we're going to meet last Friday of the month, 12 to 1:30. With that, I'd like to open it up for any updates, announcements, anything that you'd like to share.
I have a little share. Hi. So at Cuesta, this Tuesday night, we're doing our CBEST test prep, and we have redesigned it to have the first evening is everything, like just an overview, and then we have 3 sessions on each of the sections. So I got faculty who are English and math, and each of them is going to take one of the sections. So after they come to the first one, then they can choose which ones they want to do follow-up on and get expertise on that. We also have some DHSI money, so we're using it to do stipends because we haven't done any stipends. They can get up to $25 for each one they come to, and then when they take the test and show us their receipt, they get another $100. So they can earn up to $250. And the other thing I wanted to share, because it's exciting, it's on its way to happening, is we got approved through our curriculum committee, ethnic studies for educators, completely fully realizing the controversy at the CSU level with it, but we just had to get that moving. So it is ready to fly in fall, and we will be doing a part-time pool hire. And because I had to explain to my chair that while I was thrilled to write it and would love to be part of it, it is not appropriate for me to be the teacher of it. So I might be co-teaching that with a ethnic studies MQDD person. So anyhow, that's like super exciting, and I'm happy to brainstorm and build courses because that's what I love to do. Thank you.
Wow, Rosemary, I was just gonna say when you were talking, how exciting is that?
It is.
I'm excited.
I've been going to the Ethnic Studies Council, the Community College Council for Ethnic Studies, and I cannot be a member of it because I am not an ethnic studies scholar, but I can be an ally. And so I have learned just in the 2 meetings that I've attended, I've learned so much. And since we have no representation on our campus, they've got to rely on people like me who have an interest and want to put it forward. So we actually got 2 in our division. We got the ethnic studies for educators, and then we got an intro to ethnic studies that is, we don't know if they're approved by CSU yet. That's the next step. But our students want ethnic studies, so we don't really, I personally don't care. I mean, I know we need it to work for transfer, but I think I think mine will pass because I built it based on the 5 core competencies of the CSU requirements. So I literally wrote it off of their memo from their academic.
Rosemary, there is huge interest across the state for this. I know LA Region, our alignment project, this is literally what we're talking about doing in our next version of the alignment project. So for those of you who, I know you can't see, I've already privately messaged Rosemary asking for details, COR, asking if she can present at a future meeting. Totally. I think we want to get into the deep on this if we can.
Yeah.
And Rosemary, connect with Shannon. She has something for you in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Okay. And it's funny because I hate textbooks more than anything in this universe. And so I have basically eliminated the text from Intro to Education as well. So again, I won't be the lead teacher on this. It's specifically for how to, what do teachers need to know about ethnic studies, and then how to lead students on exploring it in a classroom. So it's kind of a dual thing. I'm at Cuesta.
I'll be teaming this with my sociology instructor.
Oh, okay, yeah, and so we could do it that way, but I think that's who wrote the intro one. So we're kind of colluding. We still don't have it in our division. We want to cross list, like mine didn't get a lot of flack because it was education. But we're hoping it will also be listed as ethnic studies. We don't know where ethnic studies is going to live yet at Cuesta. That's all got to just be so much fun to figure that one out. But yeah, but we've got the course, and yeah, I'm happy to share about it another time. But see if you can if you're interested, see if you can loop into that council. I'll try to find when the next meeting is. It is like I was just taking notes the whole time and just sucking up all the information I could get, because they're talking about the essence of ethnic studies, which I have very little foundation in, but I feel like I can have a conversation and defend these courses now in a much better way.
Rosemary, this is fantastic. And I'm so sorry that we're like running out of time right now, because when I talk with Steve and the ACTech team about what the plan is for the joint meeting, I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet. So if there's time within that, I would love it. If not, it might be the next one after. But if you could kind of just start thinking about sharing this on a deeper level with everybody, I think it'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And I apologize, everybody. I know we are at time, and I know that the ECE-COP is beginning. So I want to make sure we end our meeting so people can transfer over to that meeting. I apologize that we are in the middle of updates and announcements. If you have any other updates, any other announcements you'd like to send out, please send them to me. I will email them out to everybody on the team. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and good luck with the start of the semester. I know some students are coming in beginning of February, so everybody just be great, and thank you for all that you do and all you contribute. You are appreciated. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and see some of you at the COP.